pathetic as their defense is. I'm very disgusted right now. I'm looking forward to this victory. There's no excuses. Calvin wants to drive. If this man drops another pass, I mean, what is this brother eating before the games? Is he eating bagels with extra butter and forgetting to wash his damn hands or something? You can't catch the ball. I mean, that was one of the interceptions right through his hands. Right through his hands.
Stephen A. Smith came out swinging at Dillon Gabriel after that rough Cleveland loss to the New York Jets, and he didn't hold back for even a second. Gabriel walked off the field with just 167 yards, while the Jets won a game where Justin Fields only managed 54 passing yards, and 42 of those were on one screen they basically gifted away. The Browns let 2 kickoff returns fly past them, racked up 10 penalties like it was nothing, and watched their starting quarterback launch passes into the seats while rookie Shedeur Sanders sat there watching his moment fade away. And then Kevin Stefanski stepped up to the podium, stared straight into the camera, and announced he's riding with Dillon Gabriel like everything was perfectly fine. No change, no adjustment, no spark, even with a promising rookie right behind him begging for a real chance without saying a word. That's not coaching. That's the whole operation spinning out of control, and the sports world finally snapped about it. Stephen A. Smith and a whole wave of annoyed analysts stopped holding their tongue and started telling it exactly how it is, and honestly, it's about time.
I'm hearing Nathan, and the camera cuts back to Dillon Gabriel, and he does this thing where he like touches himself on the chest like that's my fault. And I lost my mind. I absolutely went bonkers in the basement.
If you haven't subscribed yet, what are you doing? We drop Cleveland Browns and NFL updates every single day with no breaks, no hesitation, just straight coverage with real talk. Now let's talk about what actually went down on that field Sunday, because Dillon Gabriel didn't just have an off game. He looked like he showed up without a plan. His receiver was wide open, the pocket was clean, the timing was perfect, and Gabriel launched the ball over everyone like he was aiming for the third row. Every snap Gabriel took felt like a reminder that not every college star is built for the league, and it showed in every slow read, every late throw, and every moment where his confidence looked like it disappeared into thin air. This wasn't just a rough performance, it was a full-on collapse, and the Browns let it unfold right in front of them without lifting a finger. Meanwhile, Shedeur Sanders stood on the sideline holding a clipboard like a prop, even though plenty of people believe he could flip this whole franchise around if they just let him get on the field. There's a point where you gotta stop pointing at the quarterback and start looking at the people calling the shots.
Yeah, we're going to stick with Dillon. Obviously, this is a young players that you're always trying to get one game better and those type of things.
Because Cleveland isn't just losing games. They're losing the respect that takes years to earn and seconds to destroy. And then came the moment everyone was waiting for in the press conference. But Stefanski dodged the real question like he was avoiding traffic. When reporters asked him about Gabriel's progress from his first start to his fifth, he dropped the most textbook coach line ever, saying, "Well, I think with young quarterbacks, you have to understand there will be ups and downs. Can Dillon play better? Yes, he can. Can we play better around him? Yes, we can. Can we coach him better? Yes, we can." That wasn't an answer. That was a man sidestepping the truth like it was a trap. One former Browns player even called the situation negligent and malpractice, and those words don't get thrown around lightly in this city. And here's what makes this whole situation way more explosive than your usual NFL quarterback drama. Shedeur Sanders is right there in the building.
The supercomputer, the guy that can't throw it really well, isn't accurate, obviously doesn't see how to run the offense, but you drafted him? That's the supercomputer? The supercomputer's a dandy. I mean, I lost my effing mind when I saw that pass go over his head.
Suiting up every week, watching everything while everybody except Kevin Stefanski keeps saying he should be the one starting. The logic is simple. The Browns are sitting at 2-7, the playoff hopes are gone, and the year is basically wrapped up. So why not use these final games to see if Shedeur is your future? Why not get the answers you need before the draft comes around in April? It doesn't get more obvious than that. But this is where things start getting wild, because several analysts believe Stefanski's refusal to play Sanders isn't only stubborn, it's personal. And when you watch Kevin Stefanski's press conference, that theory doesn't sound far-fetched at all. When reporter Darryl asked about playing both young quarterbacks and whether there was any plan to get Sanders on the field, Stefansky's response came out ice cold with no hesitation. Just that blank stare and that calm, clipped tone that tells you everything without saying a word. He shut that question down like it wasn't even worth breathing on, giving the same robotic "we're sticking with our plan" routine that tells you everything without actually answering anything. No responsibility, no spark, no urgency. Just the same stubborn loyalty to a quarterback who can't get the offense moving and a system that's been stalled since week 1. That's not a coach weighing his options. That's a coach locked into a choice he made months ago, no matter what the facts look like in front of his face. In that moment, it became painfully clear that Stefansky isn't just protecting Dillon Gabriel, he's protecting his own pride. And don't forget how the Browns actually lost this game, because it wasn't all on the offense. They gave up 2 kick return touchdowns, 2 against the New York Jets, a team that can barely complete passes right now, handing them 14 points before Cleveland's offense even took the field. Special teams have been falling apart all season, but Stefansky won't shake up the staff, won't change responsibilities, won't hold anybody accountable, and it shows. This isn't just about one bad matchup or one shaky quarterback decision. This is about a franchise that has stacked up 100 losses under the current leadership. 100! That's not bad luck, that's not injuries, that's organizational collapse from every angle, and somehow
Expecting a little bit more considering there's a patchwork offensive line. You expected them to be even more lethal. Again, you got to him, but he was getting the ball released quicker than he ever had, like 2.21 seconds or whatever it was.
Kevin Stefanski, a 2-time Coach of the Year, is acting like tiny tweaks and staying the course are magically going to fix everything. Stefanski can't bring himself to admit he might have been wrong about Dillon Gabriel, and he definitely can't admit that maybe, just maybe, the rookie sitting on that bench deserves a real chance to show what he can do. Because admitting that would mean admitting he wasted half a season chasing a plan that never worked, and that his super analytical play-it-safe approach isn't hitting the results he keeps promising. To his credit, Dillon Gabriel still faced the cameras after the loss, and when someone asked if he's watching his back and wondering when Shedeur might step in, Gabriel gave the right answer with the right tone. That's all you got. It's the clean answer, the pro answer, the one you're supposed to give, but it still feels sad because deep down Gabriel knows he's not the long-term solution. The coaches see it, the players see it, the fans see it louder than anyone. And the only person refusing to accept the obvious is Kevin Stefanski.
Kevin Stefanski, Dillon Gabriel isn't playing bad, per se, but he's not galvanizing this team at all. He's not enlightening this team at all. He's not keeping this team above the sticks, above the chains, ahead of the sticks at all. And he ain't helping you win games. So why not move on from Dillon Gabriel?
The Browns have 8 games left. 8 chances to finally see what they've got in Shedeur Sanders. 8 opportunities to figure out whether they need to burn a first-round pick on a quarterback or if their future is already wearing orange and brown right there on the bench. But Stefanski keeps rolling with Gabriel, and every week that goes by, every loss that stacks up, every missed throw that flies over a wide-open receiver just makes the frustration explode even more, not just in Cleveland, but all across the country. Stephen A. Smith and every major football voice can see exactly what's happening here, and it's hard to watch. This defense is too good to waste. These young players shouldn't be learning bad habits, and a potential franchise quarterback is stuck holding a clipboard while a head coach who once looked like one of the sharpest minds in the league is starting to look more stubborn than strategic. Here's the bottom line. Dillon Gabriel has shown you exactly who he is. 5 starts, 5 games of inconsistency, shaky accuracy, and an offense that can't stay alive for more than a couple drives at a time. He's not awful, he's just not enough, and in the NFL, not enough is how coaches lose their jobs. Kevin Stefanski needs to let go of his pride, own the decision he got wrong, and finally put Shedeur Sanders on the field. Not because Sanders is guaranteed to be a superstar, not because he's a magical fix.
And I believe Kevin Stefanski is the greatest thing to happen to the Cleveland Browns in the last 25 years. I was drafted to the Cleveland Browns. So if anybody has authority to speak on the Cleveland Browns, trust me, I do. But this stubbornness, bro, is truly starting to look negligent.
But because the Browns need answers, they need real information. And these last games are the perfect chance to figure out what the future should look like. What makes this whole situation even wilder is how the locker room is reacting. Because trust me, players aren't blind. They're watching the same mess the fans are watching. Guys in that building are seeing routes getting wasted, drives dying early, and a quarterback rotation that makes no sense when the season is already slipping away. And here's the part nobody in Cleveland wants to admit out loud. The energy shifts every time Shedeur Sanders walks onto the practice field. Teammates see the confidence, the preparation, the way he studies film like he's already the starter. And it's clear he's not just another rookie sitting quietly in the background. He's someone who could change the whole vibe of this offense. But instead of leaning into a spark the team desperately needs, Stefansky has locked himself into this cold, robotic routine, acting like sticking to the script is going to magically flip the results. That stubborn approach is starting to wear thin.
But I truly think that he does not like Shedeur Sanders. And nobody can tell me different. You know why? Because his interviews and the way he carries it when he brings his name up, it shows it.
Because the players know when a coach is being honest, and they know when a coach is protecting a decision he refuses to walk back. And while all this is unfolding, the national media is circling the story like it's a wildfire spreading across the league. Every show, every analyst, every podcast is saying the same thing. Why is Shedeur Sanders still on the bench? You can feel the pressure building every single day. And Cleveland knows once the media starts digging, the truth always comes out louder than the coach wants. What's even more telling is how other teams around the league are watching this drama like scouts with front row seats. They see a rookie with major upside wasting away on the sideline, and they see a franchise so stuck in its own plan that it might lose a future star before he even gets a real shot. And here's where things start getting real, because some people inside the league are already whispering that Shedeur Sanders might not stay quiet forever. A rookie can be patient, sure, but patience runs out when the organization keeps acting like your talent is invisible.
A quarterback, especially a rookie quarterback.
Yeah, it's hard for me to speculate, but every single outing that our guys get, we're going to look at it and try and learn from it.
Especially when the whole world sees you as the future. Behind the scenes, agents talk, scouts talk, and front office folks talk even louder when they smell opportunity. They know a young quarterback with upside is the most valuable piece in football, and watching one sit on the bench for no good reason has every quarterback-needy team raising an eyebrow and checking their options. Meanwhile, Cleveland fans aren't holding back anymore. They're flooding shows, lighting up social media, and calling out the coaching decisions that make absolutely no sense. The frustration is turning into something bigger than complaints. It's turning into a demand, a push for change, and the city is starting to rally behind Shedeur even though he hasn't taken over yet. And the wildest part? You can tell this pressure is starting to get to Stefansky because his answers are getting shorter, his tone is getting tighter, and he looks like someone who's trying to pretend everything is totally under control when it clearly isn't.
Stefanski is the greatest thing to happen to the Cleveland Browns in the last 25 years. I was drafted to the Cleveland Browns, so if anybody has authority to speak on the Cleveland Browns, trust me, I do. But this stubbornness, bro, is truly starting to look negligent, and it's starting to look like malpractice because we all got eyeballs, bro. Myles Garrett slamming his helmet down on the ground after 5-sack games. Cleveland Browns losing to the Jets. Justin Fields at halftime had -7 net yards passing. Oh, how do you lose that football game?
Coaches feel heat before the public ever sees it, and right now that heat is burning hotter than ever in Cleveland. What happens next isn't just about football. It's about whether this organization is finally ready to grow up, stop protecting bad decisions, and start giving opportunities to the players who've earned them. Because if they don't, someone else will. And they'll gladly take Shedeur Sanders off their hands without hesitation. And now the spotlight is shifting hard, because even the veterans in that locker room are starting to look around like, how long are we supposed to pretend this is normal? These are grown professionals who've seen every kind of drama the league can throw at them, and even they know this situation isn't just weird, it's straight up avoidable chaos. You can feel the tension. Guys want to win, they want momentum, and they want a quarterback who brings life to the offense, not one who leaves the team stuck in neutral every Sunday. They're not trying to disrespect Dillon Gabriel, but they're also not blind to what's happening on that field. And energy doesn't lie. What makes this moment even more intense is how the younger receivers keep gravitating towards Shedeur during practice, asking questions, running routes with him, trying to build timing like they already expect him to take over. That's not normal unless something behind the scenes is shifting. And trust me, something is shifting fast. Meanwhile, league insiders are starting to hint that Cleveland is playing a dangerous game. Because when you sit on a talented rookie too long, you risk losing both the player and the locker room in one blow. No team wants a quarterback controversy, but Cleveland isn't dealing with controversy. They're creating it with every stubborn decision. And now the countdown feels real, like everyone is waiting for one more ugly loss, one more bad throw, one more press conference with that same blank stare from Stefansky before this whole thing erupts into a full-on quarterback battle the Browns can't run from anymore. And here's the twist hitting Cleveland like a shockwave. People inside the Browns building are starting to admit off the record that this whole situation can't keep going the way it is.
No, all I can do is control what I can. And, yeah, that's what you got to do. That's all you got.
When the whispers start inside the walls, that means the pressure isn't coming. It's already here. Some staff members are quietly saying that the offense looks completely different whenever Shedeur steps in during practice, like the energy jumps the second he touches the ball. They're seeing faster reads, tighter timing, and a level of confidence that the team desperately needs right now. And it's getting harder and harder to pretend it doesn't matter. But Stefansky keeps clinging to the same script like he's scared to change a single page, even while the building around him is shifting. That stubborn grip is starting to look less like leadership and more like someone trying to hold on to control while everything else slips away, and players notice that way faster than fans do. Meanwhile, analysts across the league are lining up to call out the Browns, and they're not using soft language. They're saying Cleveland is wasting a golden chance to find out if they already have the quarterback they've been searching for. When the national shows start firing shots like that, front offices tend to panic, and you can feel that panic creeping closer every single day. And now it feels like the Browns are standing on a cliff because the next decision Stefansky makes could either calm this storm or blow it up into the biggest quarterback drama of the season. One more bad loss, one more sloppy performance, one more moment where the offense falls flat, and the whole country will be demanding the same thing. Put Shedeur Sanders in the game. Stefanski has 8 games left to fix this mess. 8 chances to prove he's still the same coach who once stacked up awards like it was nothing. And 8 weeks to show he cares more about the Browns' future than protecting his own pride. He can keep rolling Dillon Gabriel out there, keep telling everyone everything is fine, keep acting like small tweaks will magically turn a 2-9 squad into some late-season miracle. But we all know that script already. Cleveland has lived this story over and over, and the fan base can see the ending coming from miles away. And if Stefansky doesn't make a real move soon, the whole league will be saying the same thing. He chose ego over progress. If you're rocking with this breakdown, make sure you like, subscribe, and share to keep the channel growing, and we'll see you on the next one.